Hello and welcome to this edition of the Viking Mechanical Oil Kings Report. We're here inside of the medical room in the dressing room. I'm now joined by assistant coach Steve Hamilton. Steve, talk about your thoughts on this season so far, which has obviously been a fantastic one for the team.
Yeah, expectations were high going into the season, and I think that last year was certainly a stepping stone that we wanted to build off of. And I think for the most part, we've had steady improvement throughout the year. We've had some streaks where we've been able to generate consistent nights over and over again, and we've really avoided those lulls in the season, and an important road trip ahead of us here. But I feel like we're going to be well prepared.
Talk about that road trip as you enter in what's a pretty tight conference race so far right now, and what you guys are looking to get out of that road trip, and hopefully build a nice window for yourself heading into playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a lot of wiggle room in the Eastern Conference, and I think it's, there's only a handful of points that separate a number of teams, so we need to make sure that we're taking care of our business, which going into a place like Prince George, it's never easy to play there. You have to go in well prepared, and I think the way the schedule's laid out, there's some quality spacing between games. We're not playing 5 games in 6 nights or something like that, which can really wear a team down. So I think we have that benefit, and hopefully we're if we can come out of that in a situation where we're keep pace with the rest of the pack, we'll look at that as a successful road trip.
I know a little bit more about next week, but talk about when the guys are on the road. One of the other bigger focuses is school. Talk about how you help out with that. You're a teacher yourself, and how you keep the guys that are in high school in shape when it comes to their classes.
Well, I mean, all the credit in the world needs to go to Roger Castle, our educational advisor. He's extremely well prepared and cares a great deal about our guys, and he has nothing but tons of compliments as to how our guys have handled that commitment this year. So certainly we'll generate a couple of opportunities for them to have a study hall, even if it's just for an hour, and hit the books a little bit. I think they have extremely supportive and teachers from Salisbury, so we're fortunate to have that relationship. It's our job just to make sure that we provide the opportunity without distraction for them to stay caught up.
So there is windows while they're on those road trips to get caught up, hit the books a little bit, and keep their schoolwork up then.
Yeah, well, in a long trip like this, we'll build in a study hall or 2. I think we've actually got 2, maybe 3 planned for this trip because it's as long as it is. But, the responsibility falls on the shoulders of not only the players but the staff as well, and I think the guys have done a great job handling that.
Back to the on ice, a lot of success from the defense this year, and you work a lot with those guys in practice and in games. Talk about that and the strengths. Is it the additions that have come in to help you guys, or what is it that's a big turnaround this year for the defense?
Well, we've matured as a group. I think last year we had our struggles at times, and I don't think we nearly had the depth that we do this year, and that's been a big difference. Everybody's matured a year. Mark has been a fantastic leader back there. Martin Gernat has been a wonderful addition. Cody Corbett. I mean, our depth, we have 8 guys that can play, and throughout the course of the year, you rarely have a combination of healthy bodies, and so the 6 guys that have gone out there night after night have done an excellent job, and they're open-minded, open to the idea of changing their game and certainly in tweaking it, and throughout the year we hit on the same sort of important key points, and they really do a good job following up on that.
We're right now one of the top 3 in goals against in the league, and I'm sure that gets contributed to the goaltenders as well. Talk about the play of them and how that unit has worked to keep pucks out of the net, and scoring hasn't really been a problem.
Yeah, I mean, keeping the puck out of the net, a good offense gives you wiggle room, but when it matters the most, it's always tight. It's hard to score. I mean, it's tough to generate. We want to be that team as well. We want to be hard to generate against, and I think the backbone of your hockey team always comes through the defense and the goaltenders, and your forwards are contributors on the defensive side of the puck, but certainly not the driving force. And LB and Tristan have been outstanding this year. And I mean, to have a 1-2 punch like that, where you have a confidence in each guy is tremendously important. And I think our defensemen have an understanding that they play without that fear that the next mistake goes in the back of the net. Everybody's going to make mistakes, and I think that's why those guys they just have the right attitude back there, that they make the key stops when we need them.
Now, finally, Steve, the last thing I wanted to mention is there's been a little bit of concern is when this team comes to playoff time and they run into a physical team that tries to make the game physical, will you guys be able to handle that pressure and match back with a little bit of grit?
Yeah, no, I think if I was coaching against our team, I'd probably have a similar game plan, and that would be I mean, those are the questions that have to be answered. Gritty, hard-nosed teams are going to play that way against us because that's the way they need to go to, and we need to be willing to go to the trenches too, and that's the style of game that you have to be able to play. And good teams should be able to take their game and play it anywhere and play it in any circumstances and any conditions, and including the games where it's going to get, you know, gritty and hard-nosed. And I think we have more sandpaper in this room than people give us credit for. I think our guys are we've had some nights where we've had some wiggle room offensively. I think a good deterrent can certainly always be a power play, and if teams want to try and play that card, you know, a good power play can deter them from a lot of those thoughts. So we certainly need to be prepared for those nights because, you know, you won't have any success in the playoffs. It's going to be contingent on being able to play in the trenches.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us here today. Good luck on this big road trip.
My pleasure, anytime.
All right, now let's head over and meet a player today in our Oil Kings, Viking Mechanical Oil Kings player profile. Tristan, growing up, what was your favorite NHL team to watch?
The Edmonton Oilers.
And why?
Hometown guy.
Favorite NHL player growing up and why?
Ryan Smith, because of his hard work and leadership.
Favorite WHL city to visit and why?
Saskatoon, we got lots of family there and they always come out and support.
Toughest WHL crowd to play in front of?
Med Hat, they're always packed and rowdy.
Fair enough. Favorite memory so far of your hockey career?
Just getting to play here in front of my family and friends in Rexall.
What's that experience like, walking the hallways of Rexall, rubbing shoulders with the Oilers? It's
cool getting to see the guys and like you kind of get a vibe of what the feeling's like playing there and get to talk to them once in a while, so it's good.
All right, now as we mentioned, the Oil Kings are on the road for all of next week, so there won't be any home games. Stay tuned, we will still have a Viking Mechanical Oil Kings report next week. Till then, I'm Jordan Greenlee.
Viking Mechanical's Oil Kings report on Shaw is brought to you by Viking Mechanical. Plumbing, heating, gas fittings. For information, call 780-PLUMBER. That's 780-758-6237.